Today we are privileged to have with us Commander Ravi Dixit of the Indian Navy. Now the reason we have requested Commander Dixit to come and spend some time with us is to tell all our students in Goa the fantastic opportunities that are in terms of careers in the Navy. Commander Dixit will spend a little time to explain to you as to what are the careers, what you have to do to get there, and what is your future like in the Navy. Commander, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Commander, let us have an understanding first of what the Navy is really all about. Just a little background.
See, India has a coastline of about 7,500 kilometers, and certainly to safeguard our interests, not only the territorial integrity, which is the primary role of Navy in terms of war, that is to protect the territory, but the economic part is also gaining a lot of significance these days, and that is why the exclusive economic zone and looking after our own ocean interests have become very important. As you see, we have Bombay High, and also on east side we have oil explorations going on. Obviously, they are all our EEZ, and then we need to protect them, and that is why we need a very strong Navy, and we are proud to say that we are the 7th largest Navy in the world.
The 7th largest in the world.
Yes, we are the 7th largest Navy in the world, and now naval role is also increasing from conventional waters to blue water Navy. That is what we are, and we are presence, as we have seen in the past, wherever there has been any crisis in Asia, Southeast Asia especially, we have been there and our presence has been acknowledged. So we have been, Navy has been expanding its wings, and certainly we are a force to reckon with at the present scenario, especially with our adversaries and our other neighbors gaining importance in Southeast Asia and then Arabian Sea. Our presence is very important.
Wow, that's quite a lot of activity. Incredible. Commander, tell me, you see, we hear of Navy, as you said, Bombay High and that side of the world of India. How many people do we have in the Navy?
We have about 10,500 officers and about 57,000 sailors. So that is a total strength of about 67,500 in Navy. But recently in Parliament also, our Defence Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, has mentioned that Navy is short by 15% by the officers and 20% shortage in sailors are there.
Wow, that's a big shortage, huge shortage.
Yes,
So that means, in other words, there's a lot of vacancies going to come up for all our youth.
That is why I tried to emphasize that we have 15% vacancies, shortages in officers cadre as well as 20% in sailors, and that is why for the youngsters there is a big opportunity available, and certainly the career which we will talk about during the course of discussion, that how important, how challenging, how satisfying and how adventurous it is that you are looking for.
I was looking at your website, Commander, and I must say I was very impressed with your website because it categorically clearly shows what is available, what you require, what you don't require, etc. But the reason we are doing this on TV is because not everybody has an opportunity to look at a website. So today, if you don't mind, we will first talk about the officer category and then we'll go to the sailor category. So if you can start by telling us, this very first one knocked me out. I didn't know, or I had not heard of this career called hydrographer. What is that all about?
See, in Navy we have various branches. Main branches are executive branch, then engineering, electrical, education and medical.
Right, okay.
Now executive branch is the main operational branch of Navy.
Yeah.
That is where we have all these sub branches that is the aviation, submarine arm,
Okay.
and also the Marcos. In that, the officers, once they enter into executive branch, all of them, they go through some specialization.
All right.
Hydrography is also one of the specialization which is available by voluntarily available, that is we have to volunteer for that, and is available to officers. Basically the purpose is that they chart and map and carry out the surveys of all our waters. As we see in road, the different changes keeps happening. So that is how this is also an ongoing process, that is some creeks, islands, or some small little things are changes in due to environmental keeps happening. We need to regularly map our waters and then put them onto the chart for our own navy and for other navies and other merchant navy to use for.
So essentially what you're saying is, and if I can understand it rightly, is that an hydrographer is basically a person who creates a map of the oceans, Indian Ocean, wherever we operate, right? And therefore, once the map is ready, the merchant navy, your ships can come and go, knowing that that is the absolutely correct map.
That's very correct.
Yeah, that's right.
But the basic reason that ships have to enter into the harbors, near coast, there are obstructions, there are shallow patches, there are so many wreckages and other obstructions, and we need to map them, because while coming alongside or coming into the harbor, we need them much more,
Yeah.
not only for safe passage at ocean, but for entering into harbor, we do need them for the safety of the ship.
That's right.
For
I want to tell me, does the person who volunteers for this job require any special qualification, or is it just based on the fact that he's a very adventurous type of a person?
most of the specializations in Navy or even jobs are on voluntary basis. That whether after joining, whether one opts for flying, cadre, or for aviation, or for hydrography, they're all voluntary.
Okay.
So after going through his initial training and initial sailing, there is a hydrography course conducted in INS Gomantak, the hydro school in Goa. There the officers undergo 1 year hydrography course and get the expertise of surveys, how to carry out the surveys, and thereafter they sail in survey ships. They are specially designed vessels who are meant for survey, and they carry out the surveys of various areas.
Commander, one of the things that are very exciting to youth and students is to become a pilot in the Navy. I believe you yourself are a pilot and have flown many, many hours. Tell us, how does one aspire to become a pilot? What does he have to have in terms of qualifications, in terms of his physical requirements, in terms of what kind of entry level exam he has to pass, etc., etc.?
Pilot is a very challenging and a very satisfying career, if I say that. When Neil Armstrong, who has landed on moon, was asked about what was the most exciting part of your career, everybody was expecting him to say that landing on moon was the most challenging and most satisfying job of his life. But he mentioned that landing on a carrier at pitch dark night, and that to his first solo, was the most satisfying and most memorable part of his life.
Wow.
Similarly, even I have flown about 1,500 hours from carrier, of course the old Vikrant. Believe me, landing on carrier with arrestor wires, with 3 wires, and to hook on to, and also catapult launch, that is from 120 feet, you're just thrown into the air. That is the most satisfying and challenging job. And we as aviators, we always cherish and relish that.
Wow, wow, incredible, absolutely incredible. So let's go to the basics, Commander. Does one have to be 10 standard or 12 standard to get entry into this job as an officer or as a pilot in the Navy? What is the basic minimum qualification requirement?
See, Navy has mainly two types of entries. One is 10 plus 2 entry, that is through NDA, National Defence Academy at Pune, and Indian Naval Academy at Azimalai in Kerala. Entry, this is the UPSC exam. After 10 plus 2, one has to have the PCM, Physics, Chemistry, Math stream. They appear for UPSC exam, followed by SSB and medical. SSB and medical are essential for all entries into services. Also, the second entry is after graduation, that is through CDSC, that is Combined Defence Services Examination, or university entry schemes, that is in the final year of their graduation of their engineering, the seventh semester they are interviewed. They should be having 60% plus in their all up to fifth term, and then in seventh semester they are picked up, and thereafter, after completing their engineering, they join the Naval Academy for the orientation course of 22 weeks, followed by they go for the flying training with different flying academies.
Does this permit girls to also join the flying side?
Yes. Till 1992, women entry was only in medical. But July 1992 onwards, Navy has opened up for the women also to join Navy. Initially, again, it was restricted to cadres of ATC, law, logistic, education, but slowly it has been increasing as Navy is also coping up or gearing up itself to accommodate more and more ladies. The complex nature of our ships, the limited accommodation that was earlier restricting the ladies' entry into Navy.
Okay.
Presently also we have women entry only in officers cadre, and it is expanding, and rather you will be happy to know that in certain fields even permanent commission, that is in education, naval architecture and education, the permanent commission is also being given to women.
Right, okay.
So they can also join as pilots. They can have CPL before joining,
Okay.
that is the commercial pilot license,
That's right, yeah.
or they can also join in their fourth year of engineering or after completing the engineering.
All right. So there you are, ladies. Don't feel backward now. The Navy has opened the gates for you too, and therefore I'm going to ask the commander one more question so you know when to apply. When does one apply for a job in the Navy at the officer level? What is are there any restrictions or any time period or anything like that?
As I mentioned, that age criteria is always there. For cadets entry and technical cadet entry, age is between, that is 10 plus 2 entry, age is 16 and a half to 19 years.
Okay.
But for all graduation, that is CDSE or university entry schemes, it is 19 to 24 years of age.
Okay.
In certain cadres of law, it is 22 to 27, but generally all age groups are between 19 to 24. And also, apart from pilots, women entry in flying cadre is in observers also.
All right. Okay.
Now, naval observers are different from Air Force, where they are navigators only. Here, the role of naval observer is totally different. They are tactical operators and commanders. They not only locate, track a submarine, but also carry out the attack on that. So that is why their role is more of tactical operators and a very challenging and a very satisfying job. So aviation opens up pilots as well as observers job for the ladies also. Of course, most of the carriers are in short service commission, that is up to 14 years of service. But as I mentioned earlier, some branches Navy has opened up for the permanent commission of the women also, and which will be opening up further in the due time, course of time and years to come.
Up to what point is a permanent commission? Up to what age?
In Navy or in Army or military, the retirement age is related with rank.
Oh, I see.
That is, say everybody retires today as a rank of captain, that in Navy. That is, up to commander, there is a time scale promotion, and one reaches the commanders by the 13 years of service, and thereafter the captain promotion is also time scale, but thereafter all other promotions are selection grade. So captain retires at the age of 56, and then similarly a commodore, rear admiral, admiral, and chief of naval staff. So up to 60, 62, that is the retirement age is. But general retirement age is 56 years of age, that is 54 to 56.
Commander, one of the things that I was surprised is that you all also recruit people in the legal business. Why do you all need people in the legal business in the Navy?
We have court martials in Navy,
All right.
which all we as executive officers were doing it. You might have seen whether whatever scams or even the deals,
That's right.
weapon deals have happened. Nothing might have happened to anybody else,
Yeah.
whether politicians or whether bureaucrats or anybody, but services have carried out their part.
Okay.
They have court-martialed. So basically these are legal experts. They should be holding a degree of law and should be able to register themselves at any court. That is the qualification.
All right, okay.
Age limit is 22 to 27. So basically they are legally qualified officers. They not only assist in these court martials, but other legal issues which Navy is also having, maybe with land disputes or other disputes. So they assist and carry out those duties.
The other field that is interesting is IT. You know, why is IT become so important in the Navy?
Intelligence has always been an important part and parcel of any defense or any say force. We do require intelligence, and that is how even at sea we have been having the electronic countermeasures, electronic measures, countermeasures, electronic countermeasures. So that has been going on. And obviously to be on top of the world, you need to have the intelligence, and you should be able to disseminate the information to the last person who is concerned with that. That is how all entries in Navy have become technical, that is BE and BTech. Even those who are joining as cadets, they are also being given degree, either bachelor's degree, that is with Jawaharlal Nehru JNU, or engineering degree approved by AICTE. So that is why the technical knowledge has become very important part, and that is why earlier what I was mentioning, that mentees are in the last year either completion of graduate engineering or in the last year of their engineering colleges, they are being inducted. So that is how intelligence, IT, even certain branches, certain cadres, they have been demanding only computer science and IT engineers only.
Now, you also have on the, I wouldn't say lighter side, but you also have people in the sporting field and the music field being given opportunities in the Navy. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Navy, as such, always emphasizes on physical fitness and as well as adventurous and sports activities. So that is why we do have NCC C certificate entry also. That is, they don't have to appear for written examination. Most of the entries except for 10+2 cadet entry as well as for CDSC, there is no written examination. That's an important part for all of you. That is, there is no written examination. There are certain criteria which is given by the Navy. That is, you should have minimum 60% in your graduation degree, and on the basis of that you could apply we have 4 to 5 days of SSB selection board. There the selection is done and thereafter followed by the medical. So the lot of emphasis is on technical degrees.
So you see students, when you get into college, especially in the 11th and 12th, don't ignore NCC. Especially go for the C certificate. Once you get that certificate and you want to join the Navy, you get so many more privileges which otherwise other students don't get. So use that opportunity, because this is a golden opportunity for you. If you're keen on a career in the Navy, this is one golden opportunity to start right from the 11th and 12th and get your C certificate out of the way, and then you'll have so many more easier opportunities to get inside. Now, Commander, let's go to the engineering side. In the engineering side, you have what is known as engineering, you have electrical, you have education and medical. Can you tell us a little bit about each of these so that our student viewers understand what are the opportunities in the Navy generally, largely?
As I mentioned, that we have executive branch, that is what mans the ships, tactically command the ship, and basically administration is with executive branch. But certainly we do need to maintain our ships, aircrafts and other facilities. Therefore we have engineering officers as well as electrical officers. As I mentioned about the entry part, that is same. That is either 10+2 technical entry. Now for the technical entry, that is this UPSC exam, written exam which one has to appear. One should have 70% marks in 10+2. Also should have appeared for JEE main. That is IIT examination. The main exam he should have appeared for, and the age should be between 16.5 to 19 years. Then they are trained in Navy. They go through in the Naval Engineering College. 4 years degree they do with Navy, and all expenditure cost is paid by the books and everything that is paid by the Navy, and they acquire their engineering degree. And as I mentioned earlier, the degree awarded is AICTE approved, equivalent to degrees awarded by any of the university or any other institutions.
So you see, here is another benefit. If you are really, really keen to become an engineer and you complain that you don't have enough funds, here is a golden opportunity. Join the Navy, get into the stream where they teach you for 4 years to become an engineer, all at government cost. And you not only then aspire to reach higher because you have got the degree now, and then you are competing with the rest of the world because you have a proper qualifying engineering degree. That is fantastic news. Very good.
Even engineering, we have the other branches, electrical. Now as the ships are more and more sophisticated, as you asked about IT, same the ships are more and more sophisticated. We have so many missile guided systems, electronic systems. All these are maintained by electrical electronics officers. So that is why electrical is also an important branch of Navy.
Is there any special qualification one needs to get into the electrical side of the Navy?
As I mentioned, permanent commission is through 10+2 entry. Navy trains them into electrical electronics engineering.
Depending on their ability.
Yes, and for short service commission, both for engineering and electrical, after completing their degree from any of the institute, AICTE approved institute, they can apply through for the university entry schemes.
Now tell us, Commander, something about the medical side. What does one need to do to get into the Navy on the medical ticket?
Medical has been a AFCME, Armed Forces Medical Force, which has always been there, which has after 12th, like normal they go for the medical degree, they go through AFCME, appear for the entrance test. Those who qualify, the Armed Forces trains them, pays for their fee, and makes them doctor in the Navy, Army, which they can join any of the service which they want to. So that is one entry. Also, after completing their MBBS, and they are also specialization also. That's why the age has been relaxed there up to 45 years. so they can join later also. Also we have BDS, that is Bachelor of Dentistry. So those officers can also join after completing their dental RMBBS qualification.
Wow.
They can join the services and serve the AFCME.
We have not touched on salaries, Commander. Can you give a rough idea, generally, what would be the salary at the beginning of an engineering career and what would be, say, midway? I'm trying to see whether there is any comparison between the corporate sector in our country as opposed to the naval sector.
Salaries have been a very important part, and that's why maybe today's youth have not been attractive to the services, though it has adventure, like we were mentioning some time back, that Navy provides you for the all adventure activities.
Yes, yeah.
You see the word, also sailing, kayaking, paratrooping, hot air balloon, wing surfing, gliding, all these are available. Even Sagar Parikrama, 2 of the naval officers have done all over the world. Even Tommy, Lieutenant Commander Tommy, he did it non-stop. And even the Indian girls crew, all women crew of 6 girls, they are doing the Sagar Parikrama, the entire world Parikrama in different legs. So it opens up a lot of opportunities for adventure and other things. But salary was a little drawback, a little part which could not attract the youngsters. But after 7th pay commission, the pay scales are, I can say, more or less matching to the CTC what a engineering graduate gets from after passing out from his institute.
Alright.
Today, a sub-lieutenant, that is the first appointment in Navy, after training, CTC I would like to mention, is around 70,000 plus. Which yes, and whereas generally from engineering colleges it is about 3 to 4 lakh CTC, which majority of the students are getting, maybe a little higher after that. What Navy offers is like 15,600 is the initial starting basic pay, plus Navy has the rank pay as well as the military service pay plus DA. So this is the initial starting. Also, the insurance cover is about 70 lakhs, which is offered in Navy, 75 lakhs. In specialized branches, that is in aviation, submarine and Marcos, where the risk factor is very high,
Pretty high, yeah.
the salary, the risk factor which has been given is about 13,500 to 20,000. That is also as per the rank. But the sailing or shipping officers, as well as technical officers, instructors, divers, they all are given the special allowances for that. Even postings in certain hard-lying areas like Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, 30% of the salary is paid as hardline money also. So apart from all these pay and allowances, the HRA, the transport allowance is given, and other privileges also include the free medical facilities, not only for the officers as well as for their dependents, parents, and also for their spouse and children later on. Plus the canteen facilities, also the facilities of mess, club, swimming pool and other sports activities. All those are available for officers as well as for their dependents.
So, Commander, what you are really saying is that once an officer joins the Navy, there is no problem for him to get married and have children, etc., etc. Does he also is allowed to live on his own, or does he have to stay in naval quarters, or how does it work?
See, once you join Navy as on serving, that is the accommodation that is provided to, and your clothing, your food is provided. Apart from that, the clothing allowances are also there. Initial kit-up allowance, 24,000, and thereafter periodically the other allowances are given. Now, 25 years is the age which has been given as marriage. That is, after one can get married before that also, but he is entitled for married accommodation after the age of 25 years,
okay.
and he is given the fully furnished accommodation at a subsidized rate. and that was what is the fully furnished accommodation. Because of our movements and so many frequent transfers,
Yeah, exactly.
the accommodation is fully furnished. That is what is given to them. Again, he can live on his own. HRAs are very attractive today. 30% of basic HRA is available, though shortages of accommodations are there,
That's right.
but officers can hire their own accommodation, and HRAs are very attractive today.
Right.
They can stay with their family, and it is not mandatory that you have to live within the naval premises.
Okay.
You can stay anywhere and can still make use of all the naval facilities and privileges what are available to. I will like to mention here about the other privilege. One part was the leave part. Officers get 60 days of annual leave, plus apart from that 20 days of casual leave also. Leave concession is also available. Officer along with their family once in a year can AC 2-tier or even by air they can travel. So these are the leave travel concessions, and also apart from that leave concession are also available. So these are the other facilities and privileges and remunerations which are available. So today's youth, when he looks at CTC part or he looks only at monetary part, as I mentioned earlier, with the 7th Pay Commission, it is at par with the industry, and if one has Josh in him, he has some adventure in him and he wants to do something different, कुछ हटके करने की अगर तमन्ना है, so I feel Navy is the best career and is a wonderful career for anyone to.
So there you have it. Commander Dixit has virtually sold the Navy to you, and if you really, really buy it, you are not going to be disappointed. So think about it very hard and clear. And if you need to go to the naval base to find out more, Commander Dixit will be very happy to welcome you and show you around. So Commander, I really, really appreciate the detailed information you have given us, and I'm sure our youth in Goa will be able to understand what it is to have a career in the Navy. And it is not only money, as you rightly said, it is the adventure, the fulfillment of being a part of the Indian nation, fighting for our country, etc., etc. So it's a fantastic exposure you've given. I thank you very much. Now, you have also promised us that you will talk about how to get entry into as a sailor. Now, I know that you are a very, very busy person, and I'm very grateful that you have agreed to come again to talk to us about entries into the sailing category as a sailor in the Navy. So we look forward to that. We will complete the officer thing today, and whenever you are free, sir, we will be happy to have you again and to tell us all about how to get a job as a sailor. There are various opportunities there. There's a thing called Artificer Apprentice, SRC, metric recruitment, etc., etc. So what is it all about? When you come next, we'll talk about it, and I'm sure all our youth will be very happy and eager, waiting for the second session, which will hopefully have it very soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.